I'm Michael Hubbard, 73 years old. I heard about the study from a friend of mine who was part of organizing, recruiting people for it. And so I had a little background on what it was, but basically they just wanted to follow the course of people's lives, comparing, I guess, people with Alzheimer's or some sort of dementia with people who didn't seem to be at risk for it. So I guess I was sort of more the control person, there was no dementia in my family, and I didn't seem to have any signs that pointed that direction. So I was just recruited as somebody for comparison purposes. I guess in the exam room, it was more, when is it going to hurt? When's the painful part coming? There's some sort of, they do something at the base of your spine, and, it sounds like it might be painful, so when is that going to happen? And it sort of never really did. I think the most painful thing was the numbing that they put around the, I guess not an injection, around the puncture site. So I was sort of worried about, how much it would hurt, but that worry seemed to be baseless, just in the sense that it was really no more painful than like a blood draw or something like that, where they give you a puncture and don't necessarily numb the arm, they just take some blood. So I didn't even have to wait 15 minutes afterwards. I was just, after the procedure, I was sort of free to go. Walked to my car, drove away, and had a few errands to run, pick up stuff and drop up books at the library or something. And it's like, again, like a blood draw, nothing really, there was no real effect on how I felt or anything like that. There were they gave me a sheet of possible reactions that might happen, and I sort of looked those over and was sort of on the lookout for them. But, nothing like that ever happened. Partly because I've had experiences where I sort of got really faint during sort of a bad blood draw and, sort of have to lie down. Then nothing remotely like that. It was very sort of routine. It didn't have much effect at all. In fact, my wife, who's a nurse practitioner, was sort of asking me, is everything okay? You had anything going on? And I said, no, nothing at all. It's just, if somebody were to ask me, do you think it's okay for me to get a lumbar puncture? What would you tell me about it that I might be on the lookout for? And I would say, I was a little nervous when I first heard about it, just because it was sort of unknown, didn't really know much about it, but the procedure itself was really very routine, very harmless. People knew what they were doing. There was not a big production. They just sort of did the procedure and it was done, and everybody treated it as fine. I didn't have any reactions to it, and I thought it was fine. In terms of contributing to the study, if that's what you do, that's, you're not really doing much. And if it helps them, I thought it was, sort of worth doing, just because it doesn't hurt me. And if it helps them, then that's why I'm in the study.